Hey guys, it's Kristen. We are back with another coffee chat with my lovely mama. She just got back from her Camino de Santiago. She was in Spain for like 2.5 weeks, right? And we did another video before she left for the trip when I was home for the summer. We did a blog post and a video kind of about what the trip was and kind of how she was feeling going into that. So we're not going to cover everything again because she has so many great things to share now that she's been on the trip. But if you want to watch that for some background, you can check that out. And then we're going to get into today's questions now that she's been on the trip and been through this incredible experience walking 250 miles through Spain. While you were walking, or even throughout just the whole 2-week process of waking up, doing it again, spending the day, going to bed, waking up, doing it again, what kind of like kept you motivated either while you were out walking or just in knowing that you had X many days left?
Every single day was so amazing. You would have this wonderful experience during the day and just see this beautiful stuff, have these beautiful conversations with people, have some really neat quiet time for yourself, and you would think, wow, it's a great day. And then the next day it would be like, wow, it's a great day. So the motivation was really just the entire experience was so beautiful the entire time. Sometimes there was some monotony in the walking 15 to 20 miles a day, but every day was so wonderful, so it was just the motivation that it got to continue.
What did you learn about yourself, or how do you feel different now, or how did you see yourself grow throughout the experience?
So as I shared on the earlier video, I really expected that I would have a lot of time to pray for other people, and it would be a lot of time of solitude and just quiet time. A few days into it, I realized like I was actually changing, that I was becoming a better person, and that God was really talking to me. And that was really surprising, that day after day after day of this time to walk and time to pray and time to talk to other people and hear other people's stories, that I personally was just becoming a better version of myself. I think I was becoming a lot more of the person that God had called me to be, that I didn't realize I had drifted so far away from who that was. So that was just a huge realization that was completely unexpected during the journey.
So then how was it returning, like from being on this great like high of a trip the whole time where you were having this great experience, and then returning to the US from being in Europe is so different, and then returning back to your job, like family life, and not getting to do that every day?
Yeah, that's been really hard. So just a really small thing, well, it's kind of big, is the physical aspect of it was just phenomenal, to be outside that long every day and have a chance to do this physical exercise for long periods of time every day. So I decided I wanted to train for a half marathon, just to have something physically challenging.
So casually.
Yeah, and another goal physical to train for, and then that physical part just kind of keeps me connected to the spiritual and emotional transformation that happened on the journey. So that's been a big thing. And then the other thing is, I mean, over the course of every day, you spent a lot of time talking to other people. And in the course of talking to other people, you kind of learned more about yourself and places where maybe you had some opportunity to change, and just kind of some commitments that you were making to other people, or feedback you got from other people of where you could just be a little bit different. And one of the things I realized is that I could be a lot more verbal and vocal about my faith. So I feel like I have a very strong internal prayer life, but I'm not always very vocal. And I've really been challenged to be a lot more vocal in my words about my faith, especially getting to share about the Camino. It's such a great opportunity to talk about God and your Christian beliefs and your faith and God's will in your life, that I'm using that like at work in times that I never did before. Yeah. That I just felt challenged to do that, and I'm talking about it now.
As a faith blogger, I love that, because I feel like that's part of what I've done through my channel and my blog and everything, that I just try to be very open about it, because I mean, none of us are ever going to be perfect Christians or perfect prayer life, but I like to kind of just show that and show that we're just real people. So I like that too, because that's something that I found in myself over 2 years of blogging, that I'm still doing, that like it is okay to talk about, and you don't always have to agree with people, but it's cool to talk about. And then you've been keeping in touch with the people that you were with on the trip, right? Yeah,
we've still kept in touch. There was a WhatsApp that we had during the trip that would tell us, you know, where to be at different times, and then texting each other in a Facebook group. So that's been nice to be able to still be connected with this group of people that you go into this experience as complete strangers, and you come out as more like family than just even friends, because you've shared something, you've shared a lot of yourself, and then just this incredible experience for a couple weeks.
Fast way to make friends, I guess.
Yeah.
And then just finally, like, I know you've said that there's a lot of people who have been like following you on Facebook as you've been like sharing daily updates and then like wrap-ups from the trip and everything, who have either like maybe done the trip before or been like, I could never do that, but I've loved watching you. Like, what would you just say to those people, or is there anything else that you want to share just to like the people that are probably going to be watching this and who've been like seeing you go through this?
It's such a great experience to actually do the Camino de Santiago. So if it's anywhere on your bucket list, I say move it up and figure out how you can do it, because that was such an incredible experience. But even just the importance of setting a goal that might seem like way out there and going for it and just doing it. And I think that, life is short, and not everybody just takes the time to just go do something. And then also just, even if it's not going to Spain and walking halfway across the country, to really take care of yourself. So find whatever it is in your life that is a way for you to really kind of step out of your normal routine and have a chance to really take care of yourself. So sometimes you have to kind of think outside of what seems feasible to really take care of yourself and give yourself an opportunity to reset, realign, just reconnect with who God's called you to be, even when it looks like there is no way that you could do that. I thought there was no way that I'd be able to take 2.5 weeks off of work after I just took 2 weeks off of work. I don't have that much vacation, but it works out. So just, and definitely just, recognize that there's big things you can do in your life that are attainable. Break it down into small goals, but just really listen to those shoulder taps of the Holy Spirit that says, hey, go do this, and say yes, you'll be so blessed.
For those of you who are watching this from following my blog, how many of those things have I said over and over? This is where I get them from. You're welcome. Okay, so I have some notes here, but you also have some notes here, so is there anything else that you want to share?
I don't know how long we can talk, because I have all of these great Camino philosophies. So the other cool thing, maybe we need to do a round 2 of this, but the other really neat thing that happened during the course of the walk is that so many, and I think I said this on the earlier blog post, that so many of the experiences that happened during the day were such a metaphor for life. One of the first things on my list is how important it is to have the right gear for whatever it is you need to do, even if you don't realize that this gear is what you need. But listen to experts, have the right gear that you need in your life, whether it's, walking across Spain or just, preparing for an LSAT or preparing for a test or starting a new job. Be prepared and follow the signs. Whatever the signs are that are put in place for you to follow for the task ahead, just pay attention to the signs. I'll just do a few of these because I have a lot. But another point is the first day of our walk, we actually started in France. I love to say this. We started in France, we walked over the Pyrenees Mountains and ended in Spain. And it was a really big walk. It was the hardest day of the whole entire trip, walking over the mountains. At one point you are above the cloud line. It was so beautiful, but it was hard. It was like 11 miles of up, and up some more. After that first day, there was still a lot of ups and downs, but that was the hardest day. So I think in life, sometimes it's really smart to tackle the really hard things first. So tackle that really hard problem, that really hard conversation, that really hard situation first. And once you get through that, then everything else seems a lot easier. 2 other things. Our guides, we had guides on the journey, that one of the first pieces of advice they gave this was, as we're walking, there was a lot of opportunity that we could be walking with other people. But it was really important to find your own pace, because we had very long walks every day and we were doing this for 2 weeks. So again, it's really important in anything you do to find your pace. A lot of times you're going to be with other people. You might be in a team project at work, at school, for a service opportunity, that you might have to work with other people, and the pace that they're going might not feel like it's your pace. But you need to find a pace that works for you, and sometimes it's with people, and sometimes it means that you need to kind of fall back and be slow and be by yourself, but find a pace that works for you. And then the last thing to share is sometimes it's really important to take a detour. So you've got a plan, you're headed in a certain direction. We were walking, a 15-mile day one day, and we got to this little city that had a sign for a detour to a church. And we still had a long ways to walk that day. This 2-kilometer detour probably ended up being about a 5-mile detour, which is a big deal when you're walking and you got a long more time to walk. But it ended up being such a really cool detour that we took, and we saw some really neat things, and we ended up at this church that was built in the 4th century that was a really, really neat church. And it was such a beautiful detour, even though it meant a lot more walking a lot more time outside of where we were trying to get to. But in life, I think it's important to have a goal that you're aimed towards, but take the time to take the detours, even if it feels like you don't have time, you don't have energy, you don't have the money, you don't have the whatever. Take the detours.
Well, there you go. Some free mom advice and the second video version of her experience on the Camino. We'll also do a blog post. I always have blog posts to go along with my videos, which will be linked below. I'm sure she has lots more advice and quotes and just little stories and experiences to share. So thank you for watching and for hanging out with us. And I appreciate you hanging out and being on my channel too. And until we see you again, I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.